everyone, you're watching Jana FX, and in this video I'll make technical analysis for tomorrow, 12th of March. I'll have a look at main pairs and possibly entry points. Unfortunately, I couldn't make video yesterday, and let's have a look what actually happened from the previous video with our entry points and what to expect tomorrow. Starting with euro dollar as usual. So guys, we had entry point was at this area. Remember, I had pending order buy stop here and sell stop. So we had order buy triggered, and it was all going up to this area where the next entry points I had, and we had news with ECB. And unfortunately there was no movement, so pretty much it should have been cancelled, the levels, because the reaction on the news was absolutely nothing. But I decided to leave my orders, and actually the order sale was triggered. I got out only with a little bit of profit because it was pretty much break even. You see, the market actually went down, then turned around, came back in the area. I didn't place my orders for buy, so at this moment I have no other trades. Okay, so it's all closed at this moment, and it's closed the trade from the previous buy I had, so I don't have any open ones with euro dollar. So tomorrow, guys, I will be actually away half a day, and I probably will be not placing any orders except maybe gold. And I had made quite all right this week, which I will show you also on the weekend, the results of the trading. And so for euro at this moment, I would say there are no entry points because these are not good anymore. I'm not going to actually remove them. The only showing you where they could be again placed if, for example, this movement which is happening right now can come back in the same area. To be honest, this wasn't fantastic before the news event. I only used this area because it was previous a little consolidation. That's why, for example, if this movement at Asian session tomorrow, maybe during Asian session, will come back in the same area, then it would be possible to place the levels again. To be honest, at this moment, I'm still consider that we are inside a downtrend channel, and this is possible correction. So, for example, if you also did not cancel the orders and end up in this trade, I wouldn't, for example, well, you see, it's if I would be trading this on a bigger account, right, and would get into this trade, I will not place the stop. I will just trade it without the stop loss, and to see where it will go next, because if I look on a bigger time frame, it's created a week, and so of course at some point it will come back and cover it. Of course it might not happen straight away, it might run away quite far and might maybe even go in further up, but it's like depends on the money management. You know guys that on the bigger accounts, for example, I trade without the stops, and I use like different strategies how to deal with them. Okay, and especially with the pairs like euro dollar, they're more predictable. That's why like, and also like a pound dollar and some other pairs, the major ones, I'm using like averaging or a little bit of martingale, but like I'm saying, it all depends on the money management and how big your account is. So for example, like that's why some of you asking sometimes why I'm using a small lot size on the big accounts, is because of course I'm counting the risks, and I like to trade without the stops, and that's why I like to use a smaller lot size. If I use a bigger lot size, I use the stop, and especially for example with gold, I don't trade it without the stops at all because gold moves a lot. It's very volatile compared to some like major pairs. That's why, for example, I would have just leave it and continue with the next possible entry points. You see, it depends where it would be like still looking for the possibilities, either continue the way up or go down and placing those orders, and hopefully at some point, of course, it will go back and then cover this, or maybe it will go back, and of course it depends on the situation, how far it ran away, and you see when we would see it's not possible to come back, for example, then of course I would be looking at how much I made in profit, how much, how it because of course the next trade, for example, will be looking more into selling, right? You know, like it's a martingale, when you go for the next level and you, for example, sell with the bigger lot, and if it goes against you again, you try to sell with the bigger lot size, and at some point the market turns around and goes enough to cover the losses. So, but it has to be controlled with money management. You have to understand. So it's a bit more of the advanced trading, guys. So that's why I'm just saying but I had in my bigger account also still small trade, and it was not a loss for me. So that's why at this moment I'm waiting for the next possible entry point. You see, right now it's nowhere, and it might stop right underneath the 120 or maybe a little bit below, because we have a bit of the bottom here, you see, and that's why I don't would be surprised if, for example, turn around and go back here, or maybe go and just go further down. This moment we can see that dollar is getting a bit weaker again, except remember I was expecting, because of the stimulus were signed and the bonds were going up, and it's like quite a lot of the analytics were saying that looks like it's going to push dollar, give it strength, and that's why I was expecting the possible before that news happening, the markets will move up first against dollar and then they will drop. It didn't happen exactly as I was expecting. It happened today, for example, yesterday, today, and so you see possibly the market will wait for the next news next week. There will be more news. There will be FOMC for US dollar. So that's why maybe, it will still, the pace will continue to get a bit stronger against dollar, and then next week it will turn around. Okay, so that's why, for example, for euro dollar, I don't have any entry point. If it will go to this area, so of course I'll wait for the next possible consolidation. But like I'm saying, maybe tomorrow, before I go out, and if there is nothing, I'm just going to stay away. Okay, so but if you will be looking at, so that would be the next area, and if not, come back to this area. If it will go even higher, then of course you see and wait when it's going to stop, and I will make a video on Saturday, I hope, again for the week view of the market, and then we will see what happens on Friday, and what to expect, and my next ideas for the next possible entry points. Okay, so that's the view on euro dollar. Pound dollar, so I left here, so you would see where I had the possible entry points. Remember also, first I was saying I would have actually look at placing the order buy, but then I decided actually that was a good consolidation previously, and I actually said it would be nice to place buy and sell. And you see at Asian session it moved down and came back, and during the day I decided to place both directions, again expecting, who knows, go one or another direction. And actually first it triggered the sell order. Again, it was a very small order with the small profit come out, and then it jumped back up. I decided to leave orders open, and it also took me into the other order, and I also come out with a small profit. I didn't cash all the way. It was only a little bit of the profit also on pound. So right now you see also pound is moving, and it's not given any other possible entry points. I mean, okay, yes, it does look like it's continue, possible to get into the buys, but you see, because it goes again during the night, the Asian session, it might turn around a bit, for a bit, who knows, a little correction or something, right? And there will be news tomorrow for pound. So that's why it can move again, might continue the way up, or maybe will be some bad reaction on news and it might turn around. So that's why I'm staying away at this moment, except everything I was expecting it to continue. You see, to close this also to fill in this candle, the week. So it does look like it's going to do that. Okay, so like, but I'm saying it might go and do it through the Asian session, or maybe it will go a little bit and then come back and then sit a little bit, wait for the news, and then continue. So that's why at this moment I've just stay away and see what's going to happen, and look for a possible next week only next my entry points. Okay, so if, for example, it will jump up and well, we are back to 140 again, right? So, and maybe we'll consolidate around here, it's possible to place some more orders, but like you see, if it's looking for sale, it's a little bit close to this level, because it might actually go backwards a little bit, and then to sit here, and then maybe it will resume and continue the way up. So that's why I don't want to look at anything at this moment until this movement will finish, and started to give a little bit of consolidation. Because remember, guys, also in this area I have been before, where I was placing my orders, and there was a little bit of the area here, and it was jumping up and down, but wasn't enough for me to get with the profit. It was I had a few losses with those jumps, ups and downs, until I got this nice move where I could come out with a profit and cover the losses I had. This way I was using actually stops on the pound. But you see, actually it was without stops, if I would be trading, it would have been actually quite a good to get in and out with the profits. But because the pound also has a little bit uncertainty, I would say, and on one hand, you see it's moving up and it's getting stronger because it's a better COVID situation with the UK, but at the same time, it's still a pressure of the Brexit. I would still more look, seeing pound should really like go down because it didn't have a good correction. But I mean, right now it does look a bit more like it's in a correction rather than turned into the downtrend. I would consider it to go into the downtrend more, guys, you see, when it will actually go and give us a second top, because that's pretty much nothing, just like I was telling you. And that's why quite easily, you see that level could be moved. At this moment it's here, but that's what we will see maybe on Friday. You see it could be go high. So for example, first, quite possible it might go and be stopped by around 140.50 and go even higher to go around 141. So I would say that could be a limit where it might stop and started to give us something here maybe for consolidation. And then if it will turn around, then I would look more, consider it as a downtrend, finally turning around and a deeper correction, let's say going in a much deeper correction, and more a bit downtrend. But at this moment it still looks more um, for better for pound. Actually next week again will be news for pound and that might be more stronger, so pretty much that's why it might not go even higher until there's news. Okay, so that's why it might get up to here, and then until there's news it will sit somewhere. We will see, but at this moment I will just wait uh, until it's actually started to give me a bit of consolidation, because that's the way how I place my orders. And at this moment I don't want to place because there is pretty much nothing except it's just slowly continue the uptrend. Dollar Canadian, well, dollar Canadian is looking like, you see, continued drop. We were here before, remember guys, I also didn't have an entry point, expecting to either go up, and we were expecting dollar getting stronger. But remember I was warning you about the oil, because the oil was stronger and it is against dollar. It makes Canadian dollar stronger. There's some news for Canadian. Tomorrow will be news again. And the only way I was telling you it was possible to use this level maybe for sale, or better would be this area. See, actually all the areas end up quite well. I didn't place the orders, I have to be honest. Didn't pay attention much on dollar Canadian afterwards, because I wanted more concentrate on gold, which we will be going in a minute. But if you're looking into it, you see it's actually going down to this area, and maybe it will be a stopping point. Actually, I had a sell last time in exactly the same area. Remember guys, I had a really nice trade here, and last time I didn't also close it here, was expecting more. At this moment it could be actually breaking this level again and going further, covering this low and going lower. But I mean, I wouldn't expect it through the Asian session, because tomorrow will be news, and I think the news will be good for Canadian, so maybe it will have a bit of consolidation. So for example, if I would be in this trade, I wouldn't close it also. I would be still keeping it. Of course, the stop loss in a safe position, because you see how sharply it turned around. So anything can happen. But at this moment, by looking at this, how I would think, so of course the stop loss in a safe position with the profit, of course, waiting for this maybe consolidation, and then place the orders again. And with the news, expecting the possible a nice move, well, who knows, breaking that level and go even further. Of course, moving the stop behind. So that would have been the scenario if the Canadian news would be a strong news. And of course the oil, okay, if there will be nothing unexpected and like big drop on oil, which are not expected really, it's expectation that the oil will continue go up. So yeah, but you see here also it could possibly be, who knows, something like that, right? So could be one bottom, another bottom. So that's why you see it's easily can turn around with the news, you know, can turn around and go back up again, back to the same possibly area. Who knows? It was a strong move, wasn't it, last time? But I wouldn't be expected at this moment. So you see, I will remove this and just showing you the possibilities. Always see what can happen and what you can do. That's why for me, I would have been here in a trade and waiting for a next a possible consolidation, and the next possible entry point would be here. Dollar yen now, you see the massive dollar yen pretty much, because actually dollars got a bit weaker, but yen is also weak. and that's why the pair doesn't move anywhere. Yes, it's possible. I'm not going to place any orders with dollar yen. I don't like it, the situation, because of the both pairs a little bit weak. I would rather just wait for some news again, you see, coming out, and that's why at this moment it is actually a good uh, possible entry point from this level and from this level. Yet buy order here and sell order here. Pending orders, remember, buy stop, sell stop if the distances. My usual distances, I'm saying 20 pips from the levels plus the spread. 20 pips on euro dollar would be exactly 20 pips because it is very low spread. But with the other pair starting from pound dollar, I would add like 2 pips. So it would be like 22 entry. Dollar yen, just see how big your spread is. If it's like 22, 23, I mean 2 or 3 pips, then add 2 or 3 pips. The biggest one, for example, gold, I'm using like 30 pips. And also pound yen is also quite wide. I'm using like 25 pips, the entry points, the distances from my levels. You see, guys, I always keep saying it in my videos, but some of you are forgetting that and asking me the questions. So yeah, this does look like it's getting narrower and pressure is on. So I wouldn't be surprised that finally it will jump from that up or down. But like I'm saying, pretty much you'd expect something like this before some kind of news. If there will be news, then it would be a really good move from that kind of area. But if there are no news, and again, unusual, uncertain situation like now, it might go just a little bit, it might come out from it and make very small movements. But this moment, it does look like it's getting the pressure. The pressure is out there. Okay, so but like I'm saying, I'm going to stay away and just sit and wait for now and see. Of course, technically it's more looking like it's going inside this downtrend channel, more looks like a bit of a correction, so I would have been more looking in towards continuing down, because you see all the other pairs are going against dollar. Then technically it would have been this way, but because of the yen is that behavior, so it could be very small movements. So Australian dollar, also at this moment there is no entry point pretty much. It's actually had a good move. I was around here. We had, remember, entry point here, guys. It was a buy, which was not big for me again, because you see it turned around. I didn't go for other entry point, except of course I missed out a quite nice move, because you see when we touched this level it was like a pullback. Remember, I told you again, reminding you, when I had just reminding you that buy order was here, right? And so we got the first portion of the small profit, and then when it turns back, I told you, if it goes back and it touches it around it, like a little bit consolidation somewhere around the level, then you can activate it again or place the buy order again. So it's again about 20 pips above plus a little bit of the spread, and so that will be considered as a pullback, and then it can continue the way up. So I was telling you, if it will go back in, then it was possible to place the orders again. So if it would have go back in completely, then in you see the same area, then I would be placing the orders both directions again, right? So because when I come back inside, then it can continue the way down. So that's why I'm keep telling you guys this, which you can do yourself. I'm showing you all of the areas, I'm giving you the ideas, and then if you are, because I'm not always at the screen, like I'm saying, I do really like to do it part-time, and I'm going out more often now these days, so that's what you can look for. So you see right now, and I also was telling you that it was possible to use this also level to place the buy order. And you see, guys, actually it's created a head and shoulders pattern, so that's why you could place buy order here. So what is it now? Now it went to the next level, so roughly it's a 78, 0.78 price, and you see here I also moved a little bit the levels. Maybe you've seen them a little bit before, a different way, slightly lower, a bit different using it, something like that. I'm not going to like leave them, you see, like that. And so because it's broke now, and it pretty much it was just a roughly to look at that this way, but we don't really have also, like we found a top, a proper top, to consider it as a nice downtrend channel. So you see, quite pretty much could have been again a bit of a correction, and then maybe it will resume the way up. Who knows? But first, maybe it will give us a second top, right? So if it will give us a second top and then not break it further up, then it might continue the way down inside the downtrend channel. Then it would be a little bit more looking like a downtrend channel, changing the trend, because actually it was going up for quite a while, isn't it? So that's why here, for example, I would wait for next is usual consolidation, guys. It's all the same. You see, pretty much the same, just waiting for consolidations. It's a little bit of the danger here because we have a top, right? And it might have a little bit of, like a little bit of jumping. So that's what you need to do. If it will consolidate, for example, underneath, that's probably going to be a perfect positioning, because if it will jump up, then we have, you see again, enough 30 pips if we would have to be again a small profit and break even out there. If it will go down, then it's a huge area, go back again, and to the previous level, even go a little bit to, like, to cover this one, still would have been enough. So we do really need to consolidate underneath this level, and uh, then place the order. So at this moment it's nothing. If here I was giving you exactly the area and where my orders were, then you saw it. At this moment it's nothing. And of course, again, it goes into Asian Pacific session, and maybe it will give anything, something. Well, of course, it might continue the way up, and then of course I would have to have a look at it again. But at this moment I would be waiting for like a consolidation underneath this level as a good possible entry point. Okay, pound yen, pretty much, well, you see, it was around here. Remember, I told you I needed a little bit more, nothing I liked. Yeah, it broke up a little bit, you see, went up, was pretty flat yesterday, and moved slightly up again today. See, it's moving inside the same levels. It's not going anywhere. Still, again, a yen is a weaker, pound is continue growing in there. Tomorrow with the news, it might continue actually way up, maybe turn around. So you see, guys, for example, buy order is possible to use that level. As for sell, so it's a trend levels. That's what I use when the situation is like this. That's what it's nice to use. I'm just going to show it to you, but I'm not going to place the orders because, like, I don't really like to leave them till the night. Even for pound yen, I had some nice trades at night, Asian session, but because there is news tomorrow, okay, that's why it's better to place the orders before the news to see, because, like, again, during Asian session it might have a move. But what I need to see, for example, for the buy order, it's an understandable where to place. But for the sell order, I would use exactly the same level, because, like here, you see, guys, so for example, if during Asian session it would just sit in here before the news, you see, for me, news here, it's about, in my terminal, about 6-7 o'clock in the morning, I think. Then I have enough to go to this level. You see, guys, it's around 50 pips, which is fine. Even I only need about 30 to even get out with the small profit, break even, right? If it's not going to break further, go further, because that's always a danger. And of course, continue to go up is enough space. It can go anywhere, stop anywhere. So that's the only way I would have placed my orders. You see, I wouldn't place it like this, even if it will started to move something like that, because as you can see how the distance is changing, right? So it's much smaller. If before we had so it's about like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, when I had about 60 pips, now I have only 40, which could be not enough because of the spread, and slippage can happen. You see, that's why it's a little bit too close. That's why if it will consolidate something like that, then it's possible to place the orders. Okay, at this moment I'm leaving it empty because it's only started a bit of sitting on the edge of that level. So that's how I look at it, guys. Now we're going to gold, and that's the gold I had the most hope with that movement. Remember, I told you guys when I was placing just a buy order, but then I next day decided to place the both directions, and actually that was a bit of a mistake, because I could have used again the actually the levels and place instead my horizontal to use the trend levels. I should have actually place them just the way it is looked like a flag. You see, it was looking like a flag. So if I would place something like that, then it would have been just a little bit of touch, you see. Well, actually I was looking at it as a possible bullish flag, and the plan was to place the orders. I usually, if it looks like a bullish flag, I would not place the sell order, guys, you see, because you see that's what it was looking like. And I would have usually not place here, because obviously bullish flag looking like this is usually continue the way up. What was my concern here is why I decided to place the horizontal levels is because of that area, you see, in here, because we were sitting here consolidating very flat, ups and downs, jumps, and that's why I thought, okay, if I will place it as a bullish flag, then it might just go up and be just like it was here, right? And just stuck in here, touch that level, and then I say turn around. And at the same time, here was more looking like the same, the previous area, that I thought, okay, if it will maybe it's not a bullish flag, because it was still more um, looking that the dollar was supposed to be a bit weaker and nothing much for gold. That's why I was expecting that, okay, it could have break down still, right? So anyway, but my first thought was more right, just to place the buy order. So you see, I got into the bad trade. That's what I'm trying to show you. That little mistake made me a loss. But of course, when I see it turned around, I used the recovery system on my EA, and I covered all the losses and made a profit. And I actually made a video again to show it to you guys. I will release it tomorrow morning, so you can have a look how it's actually happened, how I covered the losses. And yeah, so that was a bit of like a little bit of disappointing, but nevertheless come out with the profit, so that's all right. And what is it now at this moment, guys? You see, I tried to put gold into a little bit of the channel. You see, first I actually had it here, and today I also had a small profit, another trade using this consolidation. See, guys, what happened? Remember when I was telling you I was looking at placing the orders and the movement, expecting that possibly could go to this first area, and that's pretty much get to that area, right? So that's why I saw, okay, here and this level, so that's why I placed the selling orders. And now I moved my levels again, because we do actually still have these two tops, and now I'm looking at it a little bit more, quite possible that it will continue the way up. Okay, so like, yes, I could think maybe it's going to still continue down, because there is nothing really for gold to make it move higher and up, and still it's more uh, looking like improving situation in the world with the COVID, nothing else, unless there is something unexpected, and does look like the gold maybe just have a correction or pushed. So that's why I would, of course, more still looking towards gold going down. But before that, it still might continue the way up, and it's still quite possible it can go into quite a big flat area before there is something else will happen. So that's why I'm giving this a little bit of area, and that's why probably I will place the only orders tomorrow for gold again. If it will sit in here and consolidate, then you see it would be possible, still looking a little bit towards, might continue the way up, and again get to those tops and maybe stop by this level, and then or maybe sit, move a little bit and sit in this area, because this is quite a strong level, right? We had few bottoms here and here, so it is a very strong level to break out. That's why quite possible that you see go to it, and it will try to get back, and maybe to even will try to break out. I don't know, maybe there will be some movements, but more expecting quite possible maybe just move slowly and then just sit here, and then next week to make a move. uh, well, depends, breaking out or breaking down. So at the same time, of course, I will not exclude that we quite possibly can break and down and continue the way down once again. So the only way I'm looking at it as possible continuation of the way up is because you see it moved up a bit higher, had a little bit of waiting like a bit bullish flag, then breaking up a little bit further, have a little bit of correction of this movement. So now it stopped above the previous our consolidation, and so that's why it gives me a little bit of a possible idea that we are still a little bit in the uptrend with gold. Okay, so and that's why it might continue where, but who knows, even try to break up. So that's why Either way, it's a good distances, and if, like I'm saying, nothing happens during the Asian session, also I'll probably wait for the opening of the market. Maybe we'll looking at the placing new orders, because at this moment I don't want to place new orders, as I need a little bit more of the consolidation. Okay, and then I will be placing my orders. So that's my ideas with gold. Now Euro Pound, pretty much nothing. I'm out of this pair. As expected, going flat, a bit away from this level, didn't come back to another one, just stayed in the area where I was thinking it will be, and I don't really like this much. I'll just stay away for now and just see for the better opportunities with Euro Pound. And even there will be news tomorrow, maybe there will be movements, but you see Euro movements today, nothing pretty much on the news, and that's why I'll probably just gonna sit and wait for the better times and moments to use this pair. So this moment I'm out. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy trading, everyone, and I'll see you on Saturday with my weekly review. So we will see what happens on Friday, and then make a plan for the new week. Bye, everyone.